Jeremy Howell's out there doing a bit. How's he tracking?
Yeah, no, he looks good. Howie's won't be available this week, but yeah, we're confident that if he gets through training next week, he'll be available. Yeah.
What about Jordan Daicos? Have you seen on out
Yeah,
there?
great news for our Magpie supporters out there. Geordie will play VFL this weekend, and we're excited for what that looks like. Get some game time. Has been out for I don't even know how many weeks, but we're excited to have Geordie back fit and available. And Bobby Hill will play down in the VFL as well. And yeah, all Magpie supporters get down to Frankston on Saturday night, and it'll be great to have those two players play for our club.
How confident are you with Geordie that this time there won't be any more setbacks? You can finally get him a fit and clean run.
Well, there's always an element of risk of all things, but based on the last 3 or 4 weeks of training, he looks really fit and strong. So yeah, we'll see what that transfer is like to games. Training's a lot different to games, and we're excited to have him back, as I said.
What do you want to see from him?
Just an opportunity to get out and play. Particularly Bobby. Bobby's had some stuff going on. Just wanted to see him smile and having some fun. It might be hard down at Frankston with I don't know if you've been down there lately, but they have on the hill they throw chips at the supporters and onto the oval, so the seagulls come and distract, and then they got bongo drums going, and it's actually really enjoyable. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. But I don't even know where I'm going now.
How is Bobby doing? Is he smiling again? Is he feeling good?
Yeah, look, there's still work to be done. It's still, you can't say that what he's been going through is just going to be flick a switch and things change. But the reality is it's good to see him back training. He's been back at work for the last week and a half and training hard. So we want to see that transfer again and to get some match fitness. It's different to training, and then we'll see where we progress from there.
Do you have an idea of how much you need to see from both in the VFL before the AFL comes along?
Somewhat in terms of time. Somewhat in terms of time, but other than that, we'll just see how that progresses.
Many considered you a shoe-in to finish top of the ladder a few weeks ago, back-to-back losses. Is that the reality check you needed to find that spark again?
Look, I think any loss or any game at this time of year gives you feedback, and we've had some terrific feedback in the last couple of rounds, and playing some top 8 teams and around what they try to take away from you, and then also seeing what's still going quite well for us. So we're pretty happy with our defence at the moment. We're still keeping the opposition to low numbers. It's just our connection inside 50s has gone off a little bit in the last couple of weeks. The ladder predictor stuff, we can't control that. We can only control what we can, and right now we'll just set our eyes on Richmond.
Touching on defence there, Darcy Cameron is the best intercepting ruckman in the comp. It took 8 marks last week. Are you surprised that clubs aren't doing more to stop that?
Well, they maybe are. You sort of go through the last 4 or 5 rounds. There's different versions of what that looks like. But in terms of Darcy Cameron, we're wrapped with what he brings to the table. And you can value certain things as a ruck, but marking for us, getting the ball back is one of the highest things that we measure, and he's the best in the competition of that.
Do you have any other confirmed changes this week?
Dan Houston will play. It's good to have him back available, and Tim Membry will come back after his wife having a baby last week. So those 2 inclusions are important for us.
How's Darcy Moore going? Obviously pretty different to usual. The 6 goals I think Pat Boss kicked was a pretty significant win for him. How's the skipper responded to it?
Yeah, I had a good chat to Darcy earlier in the week. 6 goals weren't only on him. We have a team system that you'd like to think supports things, but there's some opportunities for him to get better. And maybe there's a platform for others that they'll show now that try to sort of isolate Darcy a little bit. So we've had a chat about what that looks like, and we want our leader defending the ground better than what it did at times on the weekend. So we won't shy away from that.
Who came up with the term or the tactic of cowboy tackling that was spoken about during the week?
Well, we've been doing this for a number of years. It's sort of finally got out in the press, but it is what it is. Do you like the term?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tactic as well.
Well, I think you got to have a system. We talk about having close wins and close losses. There's little things that matter, and we've really drilled down on those things over a number of years. We've lost 3 close games this year. It's not good enough for us. We take great pride in that, and we've got to just continue to look at ways to improve ourselves. And one of those, the cowboy tackle is a version of that.
How many of those things have you got that we don't know about?
No, I think it depends on how deep you look at it, David. Like we do a lot of little things, and system based, and players changing roles at times, and I think our version to catch up has been quite good. And you look across the competition now, most teams are good at trying to catch up now. 4 goals is not much of a margin in small time, and our version of that proved against Gold Coast it was still there to be used when we need it. Holding on to games is becoming harder and harder, and we're constantly looking at that. We looked at it again today, internally, what that could look like, and again, until we get put in that situation, we don't know how that stacks up.
Trade talk heats up around this time of year. I think you've been linked to Jack Silvani at the rival club. What's your stance on that?
We're constantly, I've said openly many times about openly looking at for free agents. Unrestricted free agents is something that we want to continue to explore, and whether it's Jack or someone else, we'll step into that, and because we don't want to stand still. We want to be better than what we are now next year, and we'll look at avenues to bring players in that we think that can do that.
How big a role do you play in those discussions at this point of the year when players are weighing up their futures?
Yeah, I have heavily involved in those situations. Just making sure that you set the right platform and environment for players to make them feel like they can come and be the best version of themselves.
Have you met with him? Would you meet with him?
I would meet with Jack, yeah, if that was something that was important to us.
The other name just not out there, Billy Frampton. Is he tracking okay?
Billy will play in the VFL as well. So we've got Billy playing the VFL and coming back. He just needs to get some continuity through time on legs. He sort of, we could train him for another week, and we thought, let's play him in the VFL for some minutes. So there'll be a cast of thousands down to Frankston. Yeah.
Career high 43 disposals for Nick last week. Bit of a weird one. Do you reckon he could ever get over that 50 mark and maybe give Tom Mitchell's record a shake?
Nick's the sort of guy you wouldn't put any ceiling on. It's funny because there's a number and then there's the impact, and so Nick's impact with the ball is something that we want to just continue to explore. It's a high number, isn't it? And it probably just got washed away a little bit, didn't it, in the game? I don't know. It wasn't much of a story comparative to some weeks with Nick, but I think playing off across half back was something that we explored, and now we know he's still got the ability to do that.